Dan and Amy, good morning. And you ready for this one out of Hoffman Estates?
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean,
Public
what has
enemy
come to our
number one.
society? Yeah.
Public enemy number one in the northwest suburbs. You ready? The ice cream dude.
Here's Mr. Freeze, not his name, in his truck of treats, unmasked, ungloved, taking cash for cones in the northwest burbs. That's when CBS 2 assignment editor Greg Kelly, father of two, dad on a bike, said, wait a minute.
You think it's a good idea to be doing this with the stay-at-home order? With COVID-19?
Eventually, our Greg got a bit closer, tried to get an answer from Mr. Freeze. Again, not his name.
Why aren't you wearing a mask, sir?
Why are you trying to take
Why are you selling
ice
ice cream to children without wearing a mask?
Why are you trying to... Are you sick?
Am I sick? No, and I want to stay that
I'm
way.
not sick either. So why are they quarantining healthy people?
What's your name, sir?
This is not a law.
At this time, face coverings are required in public situations where social distance cannot be maintained.
I have a permit. I get permits.
Right.
The
You got
city,
the permit.
the state.
You got the permit before the stay-at-home order went
I
into
can't
place.
understand what you're saying. Back up and remove the mask.
I'm not removing the mask.
And then didn't somebody call 911 on this ice cream truck operator?
Hoffman Estates issued a missive saying, call 911 if you see this ice cream truck operator in the vicinity in your neighborhood. CBS News, CBS 2 here in Chicago, heroes.
Brad Edwards.
That Greg, whoever that Greg is.
He's a producer for them.
He's
Yeah.
an officious little prig who's lucky he didn't get popped in the mouth is what he is. Let me tell you something. That attitude is not going to go over well generally, and particularly for much longer. Harassing this gentleman over, by the way, and then
Ice cream shops are open, by the way. They're considered essential.
the
just so you know.
the smarminess.
Oh, I know. Like, how dare you put my children at risk? And he's all out of breath because he rode his bike a block.
The CBS 2 report where they splice in Pritzker offering his edict on face coverings. You understand this is all stop the spread theater, because the face covering, as we mentioned at the end of yesterday's show, Dr. Alsterholm, who's Meet the Press's go-to epidemiologist from the University of Minnesota, face coverings, if it's not an N95 mask, have limited value. You're allowed to comply with the directive. Put a scarf around your mouth and nose. That has zero impact. Zero impact. It's theater. And you're going to have reporters now lecturing to a guy driving an ice cream truck around to try to make extra cash or whatever the reason is. And then Hoffman Estates has banned ice cream trucks for some time. Okay. Well, in Hoffman Estates, the village elders in Hoffman Estates, their infinite wisdom.
It's embarrassing.
So ice cream truck operators, just like salon owners in Dallas or barbers in Michigan, they're public enemy number one to certain politicians and certain virtue signaling minders that are in the media.
And
Or
don't forget the pastors, and then the new pastor in Elgin who's going to have service this Sunday.
also public enemies.
Yep.
And the minders are the heroes. There's a good piece by our friend David Marcus in The Federalist, Why I Didn't Rat on My Neighbor for Cutting Hair. Is my primary duty to government or to my neighbors? Is my primary duty to government or my neighbors? Think about that question.
It's a great question.
For me, the answer is clearly the latter. The idea that I should be the entity ensuring everyone lives by the letter of the law is anathema. Should we call police when there's a serious crime happening? Sure, of course. Should we call police because someone is cutting hair in their backyard? No. The American people are smart. They understand what's going on. They are doing a good job handling what's been asked of them, but they also need to be trusted. We don't need a state-driven crackdown on people living their lives, and we certainly don't need citizens looking over their shoulders, waiting to be sold down the river by fretful neighbors. Couldn't have stated it better myself.
No.
For more on this topic,
Texas woman faces, but there's another Texas woman now that we might have to rally around. She faces 180 days in jail because neighbors called the police because she was giving manicures in her backyard.
part and parcel of the same thing we're discussing. But to get more perspective on this, we're pleased to be joined by another small business owner. He is Jon Kolssak. He's the owner of and funeral director and embalmer at Kolssak Funeral Home. Jon, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for having me on this morning.
How is your business operating during these times?
It is different, absolutely different. The times where people come together and call us in their time of need, we are hogtied. We can't give them the hugs, the kisses that are normally associated with funeral service. We are it's a very difficult time. When you look at the numbers that are happening in Illinois, people are dying at an alarming rate, as we're told. But a lot of people think that's where the story ends. But that's just where we begin. And our job is to tell people stories the best way that we can under the context that we are able to live under. So it is becoming extremely difficult. I really despise the word social distancing because it's a problem. We need to be social. We need to see people. We need to be human.
Right.
And we need to experience life even in death. So I prefer to use the word physically distancing. We may be far in proximity, but we need to stay emotionally attached to people. We need to talk and build social dialogue in positive manners, not just negative. We hear everything in the news every day about the bad things that are happening, the number of deaths, but we're not hearing about the people that are grieving. We're not hearing about the people that are surviving. We just need to, my job is to provide a stage for those people who are grieving, an opportunity to reminisce, to share life, to celebrate life the way we should.
Okay, so how do you do this because you can't have more than 10 people in a room at a time?
I think creativity is going to be the key to any business going forward. And so we have adopted a drive-through visitation where we took the receiving line from inside the building and we took it outside where cars are brought off Milwaukee Avenue. They're brought through our parking lot and they're able to visit the family through a microphone system at one picture window. They're able to have physical real-time connections. And after they after they talk with the family for a little bit of time, they pull forward another 10 feet to see a person in their casket within a very good viewing angle that gives them that opportunity to say goodbye. And if it's a nice day outside, the family can walk the line of people outside, staying socially distant or physically distant, and being able to real-time interact with people that is so needed during this time of lockdown.
Have you had families come to you and say, we don't want to do the drive-through, we want to do a regular funeral service and we'll abide physical distancing rules inside the funeral home or inside a church, what have you, but we're not going to, we want a traditional funeral for our loved one?
Yes, we have had families that say they want to have a traditional funeral, and we do our best to provide that opportunity, but we have to stay within the 10-person rule. Mm-hmm. And that's very, very difficult. So we've gone to Zoom videos, we've gone to Facebook Live, we've done things like that, but that still is it's not traditional. I'm very hopeful and looking forward to the day when we can have a traditional life celebration, because it needs to happen. Imagine if Kobe's death happened during this time of pandemic. What would the world have done? Would people bent the rules for that?
Interesting. Very interesting question.
If this hit the populace at a different time, how would the rules be different? And I urge the governor to give people life, to give people the ability to gather in safe parameters that they can say goodbye and live, because we need that. We are so essential to the success of people going forward. Everybody's essential. You look at our industry, we're kind of like the last responders. No one thinks about the death care professionals. We are exposed to this virus just as much as everybody, but we're not funded like hospitals are. We're a small family funeral home business that takes care of people in real time, and we react 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When we're called to action, doesn't matter what the death was caused from, we're responding and we're creating events we're creating memories, and we're trying to give people sanity.
But I tell you
Now,
what,
although
you got a real way with words. I like physical distancing, not social distancing, and last responders. I haven't heard that one. I like this. I like the nomenclature here. It's very good. I wonder if also, too, I mean, at least right now, pending your call that you just made to the governor, I wonder if, you're still able to do things that are attendant to funerals that people enjoy to celebrate the life of the one that has passed, like the pictures on a poster board or videos and things like that. At least people can still access that, whether online or as they pass through, whether it's a walking procession outside or in cars, right?
Yes, our website funerals.pro has been so useful because it allows a portal that's private but yet public for people to interact. They can share photos, they can share memories, they can post pictures, they can watch the videos of the people. So that's become the virtual visitation. And funerals.pro is a great platform for us to interact with people, and I encourage everyone to go there.
Now, John, are you seeing an increase in the number of funerals because of COVID-19, and is everything classified as COVID-19?
That is a very good question. We have had a very busy month. The closest hospital to us is Glenbrook Hospital, and that is 100% COVID hospital. As of yesterday, all of their patients are COVID positive. So we have been exposed to this, but we come across every person as though they are contagious of whatever they passed away from. But we do take we do things that make the people. We eliminate the risk of contamination to mourners as they come in. So not only are we cleaning our building physically, but we're cleaning the person both inside and out to make them non-contagious to mourners that are coming in.
He is Jon Kolssak. He's the owner, funeral director, and embalmer at Kolssak Funeral Home, which is in Wheeling here in Chicago Metro. John, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thanks, John. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Is this your situation?